Hello, I'm David.
And I'm Matthew.
Hey, welcome back, Matthew.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's been a while, tell us about your new game.
Mind Your Business is a new game I'm launching on Kickstarter actually Monday, the 26th of September, so in a couple days here.
Right.
And it's a 1 to 4 player game, and it is a spatial puzzle game where you have to think a few moves ahead, and yeah.
So you have this is set up for 2 players.
Yes.
And I remember playing this at Dice Tower West when it was in a different form, so I know some things have changed. And this is a 4x4 grid as a 2-player game, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and am I this guy?
Well, you can play yellow or the cyan.
All right, well, I'll be yellow.
Okay, that's Donnie Dijon.
Okay.
It's my favorite. All right, so the way that the game works is we're magical gnomes in a magical mine.
Okay.
And what we're going to be doing is trying to collect resources. There's 3 different resource types in the game. You can see them on the cards. This one is gold, this one is coal, and this one is gems, the multicolored one.
You know, I'll show it a little closer just to make sure people. So this is gems.
There you go.
Okay, and there's some gold right there. So that.
Yeah.
And then here is another gold vein. Okay, and then we have
The coal.
coal.
So what we're trying to do is collect resources, and in this game mode, each card will be worth 1 point, so resources don't have different values, but there's a variant where they do, and that changes up your strategy and gameplay. But the way that you collect resources is you have to align them into your cart, so then you can collect it. But you don't want to just collect 1 gold card.
Okay.
You'd want to collect 2. So we're going to be doing things in the game that allows us to manipulate the card. So now I have 2 gold, and I can collect 2 at once.
So these cards will be disappearing, and the carts will be going around the board. If I remember, my cart's going to be traveling like this.
That's correct.
Correct? And your cart's going to be going the other direction. So we get how many turns?
So the way that a turn will work for each of us is a turn's made up of 4 phases. On phase 1 of a turn, you take 3 actions, and the actions are listed there below. So the first action is to move, so you can move your meeple 1 space if you want it. You can move 3 times in a turn, and that would be your full phase 1 turn. The other action you can do is called rotate. So any card that your meeple is on, you can rotate it any way that you want to. And obviously you would do this to connect the same resource types with each other to make longer chains. Another action you can do is called swap. So any card adjacent to the card you're on, you can swap with it. So I could swap like that. And you stay on the card when you're swapping it.
When you do these actions, do you have to do them in this order, or you can do any combination?
You could do them in any order you want, and you can do them as many times as you want. And then the next action is load cart. That's when you want to collect resources into your cart. You say load cart, and they would go into your cart. So here would be 1. If this card was like this, I couldn't collect though because nothing is going into my cart.
So when you say you can take as many as you want, you still only have 3 actions. So you're limited by that. So I could move 3 times if I wanted to, but then
you could swap 3 times.
Right.
You could load, swap twice. But yes, you are limited to 3. And the last action that we have is called change camp. And again, we're magical gnomes in a magical mine. So these campfires are magical. The actions I just showed you to rotate and swap, we can do that as if we were on these.
Ah, okay.
So you can manipulate these cards from across the board.
And that's where you get some player interaction. You can mess somebody up then
Yes. So you might be needing those gems on that card, and then I move it away from you. So there's definitely a little bit of take that and tug of war in there.
But it's limited to these 2 cards right now unless that changes, because here's the draw pile. So there's a whole bunch more cards in here. As we load them into our cart, we're going to get new cards.
Yep. So those are the actions you can take. So after phase 1, after you take 3 of those actions, you then can do phase 2, which is read the sign. And what that means is if you end your turn on a space that has a sign, like this one, you can then optionally read it and do that ability. So this one says jump to camp or corner. So I could then jump to any corner of the map that we're playing on, or to any campfire. So I could jump there if I wanted. It's a way to get around the board a little bit faster.
So if you manage, so one reason to move your gnome onto there is so that you can get the end of turn action.
Right.
Okay, and that's so that's actually hang on, number 2. So we're going to use our 3 actions. Any combination of those 3 down there. Repeat as many as you want. Then we're going to read the sign.
Optionally. You don't have to do it.
Okay, and then
for phase 3, your cart will move. Your cart's going to move 1 space at the end of your turn every single time. And as you said earlier, I'm going to go around 2 sides of the board. When I get here, the game will be over for me. And the same for you, except this way.
So you're going to load here first in this corner on your first turn. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you'd move on. So 8, we're each going to get 8 turns.
But possibly 9, and I'll explain that in a minute. But basically, you move your cart for phase 3, and then phase 4 is you refill the mine. So anything that you collect it into your cart will leave an empty space on the board.
Okay.
And that's when we would then load the cart, or reload the mine. And when we do that, we just flip over a card. We don't get to decide what way we want it to face or anything like that. Like that. And then after that, it would move on to your turn and you would get to go. The way that, when I said earlier, you might get 9 turns, that's because of these one-time use ability cards here.
Okay. And we each got the same ones.
So how your turn normally, your cart moves at the end of your turn every single time. If you use the don't move cart card, it won't move 1 turn. So then you would have 9 turns, basically.
Okay. So that one you only play at the end of your turn, but this one you can play during your turn.
Yeah. Technically, you could play any of these at any time during your turn until it gets to, obviously you can't play it after move card.
Right.
But yeah, so these are one-time use. If you want to use it, you just flip it over, and then that signifies that you used the card.
Got it.
The other action is called +2 actions. How you normally have 3 actions on your turn, you can now have 5 actions.
Okay.
These are free to use. They don't cost an action to use or anything like that.
Okay.
And the last one is swap location adjacent to cart. And the way this one works is it's kind of like a teleport or a way to get back to your cart faster. So if I was all the way over here, I could flip that cart over and then I would swap this location with the one that's in front of my cart.
So that implies that you're swapping the location that your gnome is on with the locations that's next to the cart.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's how the one-time use abilities work. Other things I should mention is there are signs that say +2 move. So if you land on one of those, you can move to another sign and then trigger another sign. So you can chain signs together to create really powerful turns.
Could it be that, is it possible to use the same sign twice then?
No, because if I was to use this sign, it says swap to adjacent. And the way that this one works is you're swapping cards adjacent to the sign. I swap 2 cards and then I can't use it again because I can only read it once.
I'm just wondering if it's possible to get a chain where you move to, go to a sign, and then, well, I guess that would be possible.
Well, you could move, you could get a move to a move to, then move back to the move to.
Yeah, but then you're not doing anything.
Yeah, you could forever chain if you want, but you know.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. But that's the majority of everything we need to know, and this is for the 2-player competitive game mode. There's also co-op modes, and again, there's solo, 2-player, 3-player, and 4-player modes for this game.
All right. So why don't you go first then?
Okay, I will. And to be honest, I don't love my starting cards, but we're going to figure it out.
And just in case that wasn't obvious, since we're playing this version, each type is worth 1 point each, right? So if each card's worth 1 point. And in other games, you could play the variant where the gold is and the coal and the gems are worth different values. So in this case, whatever's underneath our cart is going to be worth the number of points. If I have 10 cards, that's 10 points.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're just collecting sets basically of different resource types, and that's what they'll be worth at the end.
Correct.
Doesn't matter if I have 5 gold, 3 coal, and 2 gems. It's 10 points.
Nope. And the other, if we were playing the variant where the gems and gold and coal are assigned different resource values, then it would matter. And that's always different every game because I don't have the deck here out, but you flip over cards and it shows you a resource type. So you'll flip 5 of those before we start the game. and whatever 5 they are is what the assigned value will be.
Ah, so even then that varies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. But in this case, everything's worth 1 point. You just want to collect sets. All right.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this. I'm going to...
So we're taking up to 3 actions right now.
Right. So phase 1, I'm going to take 3 actions right now. My first action, I'm going to move. My second action, I'm going to move. My third action, I'm just going to collect 1 resource.
Okay. And then you get a new card.
Well, we like to do it at the very end just because sometimes you collect first and then you don't want to refill the mine because it could, you know. So we go to read sign, there's no sign, move cart, and now we'll refill it.
Oh, yeah, it does say that. Number 4, so I was going out of order. Okay.
Because it's important, because if you reload the mine, you might be like, I'm going to use my don't move cart card or something like that.
I was skipping ahead.
Another thing I didn't mention is we can't go into each other's space.
Okay.
You can't rotate or swap the space I'm on. You can collect underneath me.
Okay.
And how we can manipulate these campfires, because I'm on this one, obviously, you can't. But you could with this one still.
Okay. Trying to think here. So I jump. I can't use that yet anyways. That's after I take my 3 actions. No, I could set up a future play.
Yeah, that's what a lot of this ends up being sometimes.
When I rotate, I can only rotate the tiles that are that I'm adjacent to, or not?
So you rotate the one that you're on.
Okay.
Unless it's one of these signs.
Okay.
Which happens after you take your 3 actions.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3.
So move, move, rotate.
And I'll use another action.
Okay.
1. So I use 2 more actions. So I'm not going to collect this turn, but I'm set up to...
Yeah, you have a really nice gem set up there. You actually have 5 right off the bat.
If you don't mess me up.
And, you know, I have a feeling I kind of want to. I can't let you get 5, right?
Right, and that's where you can... But the point is, I'll get another turn to maybe to fix what you mess up.
Yes, you will, for sure.
So I didn't collect. I didn't load the cart. So now I'm out on a sign. I move the cart. So I'm right here. And I didn't collect anything, so there's nothing to refill. So now it's your turn. So if you don't mess with me, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I kind of have my own plan, so it's gonna mess with you a little bit, but not much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap these 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna move here for my second action, and for my third action, I'm gonna rotate this. So now I'm out of actions, but I get to read this sign.
Okay.
And what this sign says is +1 load, so I get a free load action. And what the with wild means, 1 resource doesn't have to match. So this is a wild gold, gold, gold.
Oh, you're only going to take 1 away from me.
Yeah, so I'm taking 1 away, but I get 4. You're going to get 4, unless something comes out that you can still use.
So in other words, wild, you're making that coal.
Yeah, that coal is wild. So I'll read the sign. We'll collect these. Now I go to move the cart, and then we go to refill the mine.
Okay, so I'm just going to hand you a 4. And
sure. And the rule of thumb here is we kind of do, not that we know what's underneath the card, so technically it doesn't matter, but our rule of thumb is from left to right, top down when we refill, just to keep things consistent.
Sure.
Oh, I hope that, I was like, if there was like some kind of bendy loop here for you, I was like, oh, I don't like that. But it's a campfire, so you can easily use that.
So I can swap. So 1, then I can swap, right?
Yeah.
That's 2. Am I doing this right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then now I'm going to load cart. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
So I managed to make. But we're tied right now because you got 1 the first turn.
Oh yeah.
So it's not. It's still a close game. All right. So then I can't take any more actions. I'm not going to use my other cards here.
Yeah. No sign to read.
No sign.
So just real quickly before we advance, sometimes you collect as your first action, and if you did that, you can still move through these spaces as if a card was there. You could even swap with it, so I could swap like that.
Okay.
So you just pretend like there's some cards there, even though you're in this void area.
Cool.
So now I'm hoping something comes out I can use here, because I'm kind of far from my cart, and
I noticed that
another gem.
there's 2 dots in the corner. What's the purpose of that?
So this is a prototype, so a lot of things will be changing. The dots in the corner is one of them, but if we were playing a 4-player game, you combine both decks from each box.
Ah, so that helps you notice.
We can easily.
I'm glad you're doing that. That annoys me
them.
when you get an expansion, you don't have that way to unseparate it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's see. What can I do here? I think I'm gonna have to teleport back. I think that's the play for me.
So that's the swap.
Yeah, the swap location. So I think what I'm going to do is move. I'll play that. So then that means these swap.
You still have an action.
And I have 1 action, and I'll collect these 3.
Yeah, good play.
So that's the thing. You have to. You're pretty far from your cart now, and obviously we know it's moving this way, and we want to be able to manipulate it. So it's important to try and stay close. So no sign for me. The cart's going to advance. And then I'll refill the mine.
You can only imagine how chaotic it can get with 4 players. Now, with 3 or 4 players, how much bigger will the grid be?
So if you're playing with 3 players, it's going to be a 5x5 grid. And if you're playing with 4 players, it turns into a 6x6 grid.
Okay.
And there's still a good amount of interaction with each other. Like, look at us right now. We're right next to each other. Hi, friend.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you because you're beating me right now. Because I'm not going to get a 3-play right here. Let's see here. I could. Yeah, because I got to move all the way over this. This says what? Rotate 2 adjacent. I can get 2 move, but that's not 2 action. That's just moving 2.
Yeah.
That comes at the end of the turn.
If you end your turn there, you can then move 2 more. You can always move this campfire too without being on it. But it's kind of like, what do you want your next turn to look like? Because obviously you're not going to be able to do much this turn. And you can always collect just 1. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, the idea is to do the ideal play.
Well,
well,
yes.
1, 2, I'll collect, and then I can move again.
Yeah.
I'll go rotate like that. I'll go here.
Okay. And you can only use, you could use 1 move if you want. You don't have to use 2.
Right.
Again, the signs and even using your 3 actions, you don't have to use all 3. It's optional.
All right, your turn.
Sure. So, I'm going to swap these 2. I'm going to rotate this.
So that's your second action.
And then I'm going to collect because I don't want to miss out on those 2 that are there.
That's a good play.
Yeah. So that's 3 actions. There's no sign for me to read. My cart will rotate, and then I'll refill the mine. And those are not great pieces. Because they're the nub ends. You know, you can't really work or do much with them. But yeah, this Load Wild's a solid card though.
I'll rotate 1, 2, 3. You know, I'll collect anyway, just in case I get lucky on the next corner. Well, I did too many actions.
Yeah, you did. So you did rotate, move, rotate.
Yeah, so I'm done.
Yeah, but now you're set up for 3 at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got to be watching each other. I almost did too many actions.
I was gonna tell you, don't worry. I was like, I don't know about that one. All right, I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna rotate. So those 2, and then, I mean, I really love this card here, but there's no real value in that for me right now. So I'm gonna move. Oh no, I'm gonna move here. Yeah, I'll just move there.
Okay.
And I read the sign. I can't actually do it. because it's not connected to
wild,
anything.
yeah.
You could just load one card, you know, doesn't have to trigger the wild.
Sure.
But it's not facing the right direction. Cart moves, and it's your turn. Nothing for me to refill.
Now for me, I want to set up, I'm going to be going to this corner.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to be happening, but at least I can try to rotate some stuff over here. Maybe try to get some gold. What does it say? It says rotate to adjacent.
So any card adjacent to this, you could rotate any way that you want.
Too bad I'm not coming around here, this corner.
In the solo mode, you go around the board completely.
Okay.
And if actually when we're playing the 2-player co-op mode, we go around the board completely as well.
1, 2, I'll rotate. And then
Got a nice
I'll
collect.
stop
Don't
there.
forget to
Yeah.
do that.
a nice what?
Collect.
Right, I'm going to collect.
Yeah, or
So
load
there.
cart, rather.
So I'm hoping.
Some stuff you can use comes out.
Yeah. And so now I read the sign. I'll move here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to, don't move my cart.
All right, not a bad play. I'm probably going to do that soon, too.
Because might as well get another turn out of this.
See what comes out here.
That's what I was hoping
Okay.
for. That's why I went there to move it. Hoping something would come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to move. I'm going to rotate. And I'm going to collect 1.
Okay, yeah, better than nothing.
And then I'll be in the void. No sign. Cart moves. And I refill.
You're not going to pause?
No, but I'm definitely going to probably this turn.
Yeah, before the game ends.
Yeah.
Okay, so I paused. Not really the best place to pause, but I might as well just collect 1. Maybe I can get some more gold set up here.
Could turn it into 2, but it would take 2 actions to do that. Well, 3, because you have to collect
Right
as
here,
well.
not here, I can't.
Well, you can, remember, you can rotate and swap these.
Yeah, the fireplace is on
because it's the fire.
Okay.
So you could kind of chain these gold together somehow, but it would take, you know, basically your whole turn.
Yeah, so 1, swapping,
So it'd be a swap for 1,
rotate,
for 2.
2. Now I can collect.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for showing me that, because I keep on forgetting that the fire is basically, you're there.
Yeah, so there's kind of a lot to take on your first gameplay,
Yeah.
but if we went into a second game, and these are pretty fast once you know it, you start to see these things and remember everything, so it opens up these strategies for you.
So I did take my 3 actions. I'm going to read the sign and rotate to adjacent to me.
So anything adjacent to the cart can be rotated.
So I'm going to rotate that one. And I think I'll rotate this one too.
Sorry, just the ones adjacent to this. We don't do any
not diagonal
stuff.
not diagonal.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry
so that's
about
good to know. No, that's good. So I read the sign and moved the cart. Now I flip up. Okay.
Okay, so I was trying to hide and disguise my move for a few turns there, and you kind of just messed it up with that.
Good.
But I'm going to move. Exactly, good. Yeah. I'm going to rotate this.
Yeah, that's what, you're going to do a big play.
Yeah, so I was trying to do 6, and you got me there when you switched that, because I would have got this too.
But still, a 4 is good.
And I used 3 actions, so I'm going to have to use my 2 actions here.
Okay.
Because now that you know my master plan, I'm sure you would try and mess it up a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
So I'll take 4.
And you still have an action left.
Yeah, I have 1 action left. And, well, I'm going to use my don't move card as well, because I don't know what's going to come out, but I don't want to be at the very end when something does come out. And for my last action, I'm just going to move... I'm going to move here because I don't know what's going to come out. So hopefully being in that spot, it will help me.
So you get 4 cards. So you're really going to... if the way we're... what would happen if the deck runs out?
So I forgot to actually tell you that, but basically the game ends when both of our carts reach these edges, or if we can no longer refill the mine.
Okay.
So sometimes there's an advantage of going first if you're, you know, I've had it where I've lost a turn at the end, which doesn't feel great, but yeah, when you know that that's part of it.
Right. Well, you can let the least experienced player, or the player who lost last time, go first.
Yeah.
That's what I would do for in situations like that. Okay, so I'm going to rotate. If I swap, yeah, see, this is definitely very thinky.
There's so many options.
Yeah.
It's like, we know you have a guaranteed 2, but how can we make it better?
Well, I'm trying to plan for the next round. I know I'm only going to get 2.
Round.
Yeah. Because this is messing. Oh, I can swap here. So I'm going to swap here. Oops. And then, so that's one action. Second action is doing this.
Okay.
And then I'll collect is my third action.
All right.
Okay.
I thought you were going to try some other stuff. I was worried.
Move cart. I get to read this. Oh, I forgot to read the sign. Rotate to adjacent, but not
this
diagonal.
one or that one.
Yeah.
Or this one.
Yeah, which is not there. But that's okay. So I'm not going to use the sign because it didn't open up my mind.
I used all my abilities.
See, I made a pun. You didn't catch it.
I didn't. I missed it.
And that's your generation. That's Ace of Base.
This whole game is puns. Mind your business. Well,
because Ace of Base is 90s, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to rotate. Man. What do I do? What do I do? It's not good. I'm going to move here, and then I'll collect 2.
Okay. 2 better than nothing.
Yeah, they add up. They add up, that's for sure. Okay, I can work with that. Well, I forgot to move the card,
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
I wasn't going to read the sign anyways, which was jump to a corner.
Right. That'd be.
But
now I can. Okay. 1, 2, but then I'm about to collect. What a bummer. Because I can move here and rotate this in, but I won't be able to collect. Because I could, if I somehow could rotate this.
yeah.
And that's not adjacent to that. That's why I didn't do it. I'll go 1, 2, and I'm going to collect.
Okay.
Maybe something will come up that I can manipulate. So here.
So we're both on our last turns here. And I'll rotate for 1. And I was trying to think if there was a way that I could somehow get a third, but I don't think there is. So I'm just going to collect these 2. And then I do have 1 turn left.
1 action.
Sorry, 1 action left. And there's nothing really. If there's a campfire, I could try and mess you up or something, but there isn't. So I'll just move here and end my turn, and then I'll refill the mine. And good news, we didn't go through the deck, so you get your last turn.
Now I do have a swap location adjacent to card. How does that work again?
So whatever card you're on will, so like if you were here, this card and this card would swap, and you would go with it.
So I'm here, so I can swap with that.
Yeah, but you could do that normally. That's a normal swap
Right.
action as well. But if you went there...
Well, I'm trying to get this, to swap these 2 cards, right?
Okay. So if you use that, you would still have 3 actions now, technically.
Rotate. Yeah, I guess I can't make it work. I was thinking of a way to try to get this to rotate like this and get the coal.
So this is what I saw.
Okay,
if you don't mind.
Yeah, you gotta show me.
So you have 3 actions. You can't do too much with that.
Yeah.
The last turn's a little tough because you can't plan ahead or anything like that.
Right.
It's kind of what's in front of you. I think the best you can do here is get 2. And the only way I see that, I mean, somebody else might see a different way, but this is what I'm seeing is move here for 1, use this card to swap these 2.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't thinking in those terms. It's anywhere you're at. Okay.
Yeah. So now it's 2 gold at least.
Okay.
And that was a free action. So now you can collect and you would have 1 action left. But I think that's the best turn you're going to have at the end.
That is good. I'm not used to using that card yet, so I'm glad you did that.
This one, so whenever I've played this game or taught it, this is the card that doesn't get used often.
Yeah.
But as people learn the game and are more experienced with it, they utilize that card in a lot of ways that help them.
Yeah, because I'm thinking adjacent, that you got to be adjacent. It's wherever you're at that you swap.
Yeah. We're also, so again, prototype, we're working with our graphic designer now to change some of the text being used or the verbiage.
Right.
We might do icons. These player aids are probably going to get bigger, a lot of things like that.
Well, there's more information you can put on here too. You don't have to be this concise. There's room to add a little bit of detail there if you wanted to. All right, so now we count, right?
Yeah, we do. I think we're going to be pretty close, but I don't know.
Let's make sure.
I don't know. I think I got you by 1.
I have 17.
I got you by 2. I have 19. 1, 2, 3.
Huh? That's how it should be. The designer should beat me. We said it was a close
19.
game. All right.
Well, Art is the designer, but I have developed it.
Yeah.
So I know the game. I've demoed and played it quite a lot. So
yeah, I remember we played it at Dice Tower West. So
it's developed a lot since then, right? It's changed a bit. The art and
the art is a lot better because the prototype.
It was just white paper with lines on it. That's literally all it was.
Well, no, actually, you did print out some color samples, but it wasn't as differentiated enough because it was a prototype. But yeah, this is looking.
We've actually
really
even enhanced a lot of this, again, prototype, but we've been continuously getting feedback and doing things to make this look better. Like, one thing we're doing is the paths have outlines now. So like this gold path will have like a line of gold so it stands out more.
Right.
And the gems it's a green one, so you know it's a gem path. The coal has like a dark blue lines around it, so it makes it a lot easier to see them. Sometimes people miss these nubs as well.
Yeah, I can see
because they're a little hard to see.
Yeah, because this room has a lot of light. In a lower light room, you might miss it. So that's a good idea.
We're doing things to try and make it easier for everyone visually.
But you know what? That's what the beauty of a Kickstarter. So you're going to be able to suggest changes too. Make suggestions from your backers that you might not have thought of.
Yeah, I've listened to feedback from backers quite a few times, actually.
All right, so and it's 2 copies because either one of these could be a 1 or 2 player game.
Yeah, so each box is going to have 1 to 2 player capability. If you buy both games, it's going to be a discounted price versus just getting 1. But then you can combine those decks to play up to 4 players.
Ah, cool. All right, so that's Mind Your Business. It's really great to see it. What was that? 5 months?
Yeah.
6 months ago. See? What could happen in 6 months? All right, well, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. All right. All right, take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.